Look, the reverb you're using on every single song, on every single track, it's boring. We're tired of it. So in this video, I'm going to show you something I call frequency blooming, which is actually a really, really cool effect with reverb. And we're going to talk about creative ways to reverberate drums and reverberate vocals. I know, reverberate. Who says that? But it's going to be a really fun video, so dive in with me. Let's get creative. Reverb, delays, all those special effects, they're like sauce to me in the mix. So you have kind of salt, right? You got the soy sauce, which is going to be really salty. And sometimes you can overdo that salt. So then you might want to add a little bit of sweetness to it, which this is like a cocoa amino. It's actually really good. You know, I just want to put you on that. That's a Bali thing. I don't know. I put that on rice. Really good. Kind of sweet. It'll sweeten up that salty. And then you could even throw a little spice in it with your cock sauce. Everybody likes a cock sauce, right? But you can kind of blend these things. And then when you got this sweet and spicy and savory, and you got all these things going on, then you could kind of, I don't know, tame it a little bit. Throw a little rice vinegar in there. I don't know why all of these are Asian sauces. I'm just on an Asian kick right now. And then you got mirin, right? And this is going to give you a little bit of sweetness as well, but a different kind of texture and layer to that sweetness and a little bit more depth to the flavor. This is what reverb is to me. If I was to think about cooking and compare it to cooking, it's a sauce. And you can overdo the sauce. You can put too much sauce on your stuff, right? And then you can pull away from the actual beef or the chicken or the flavor of the actual dish. Let's start right in by saucing up these drums. They are boring. This is just the kick and snare here, dry. Boring! And I know you guys just want to reach for a little reverb and, you know, do your thing, but we're going to talk about frequency blooming. And the first thing I'm going to do is on the kick, we're going to do some frequency blooming with this Resonant Reverb. Joe Chiccarelli, Epica audio. Really, really, really dope and really fun to play with. And that's what we're going to be using in this video. So check this out. We're going to find the frequencies. This is the pre-reverb filter, and then it goes to the reverb here, and then it goes post-reverb filter. And then you have an output gain, you have a dry and wet here overall, and then you also have a dry and wet just for the reverb, which means you can do dry and wet for the filters and the reverb, or dry and wet for just the reverb. Okay, so, and you can turn these on and off, right? So turn on, off on any of these filters or reverb. I have the pre-reverb on and the reverb. Okay, so pre-reverb, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Pre-reverb filter and then the reverb, all right? And then the mix on the reverb here is at 45%. What I've done here is I've resonated right here down at the bottom of the sub kind of area of the kick. And listen to what happens when I pop this in and out. So I'm just gonna bypass this in and out so you can really feel it. That's dope, right? So that's what I call frequency blooming. We're gonna bloom out the frequency with the resonant filter, and then we're gonna throw it into this reverb, which is at 1 second on decay, and it has a 22 millisecond pre-delay. And it gives this, you know, really beautiful kind of blooming effect that you would get out of a multi-million-dollar studio room. All right, so that's awesome. Now let's hit this snare. What do I have on the snare here? Same kind of concept, but this time I have the post-reverb filter 2 on as well. And what I'm looking for is kind of the snap of the snare here at the top. And I'm going to sweep this filter so you can really hear it. But this is a pre-reverb filter and then the post-reverb filter. And I'll sweep these filters so you can hear what's going on. But body of the snare, the koom. And then we have the snap at the top here. And then the decay on this, 2 seconds. We got a little pre-delay of 36 milliseconds. Might want to bring this down a little bit. And then the width is a little bit wider. And then we're going to talk about like really making some cool effects with vocals with this reverb, because that's kind of why you would use this reverb instead of your boring, you know, stock one or the one you guys all use. And you know what it is. All right, check it out. So good, right? So this is really giving you the ability to kind of EQ the reverb and give this snap to the snare and this liveliness to the reverb, which I think is really fun. And then of course you could blend it back if you wanted to. You're like, oh, that's too much, man. You're overdoing it. But that's what this plugin is about to me, and why I started using it and why I did the whole frequency blooming thing, you know, because I'm like, this is an effect. This is totally an effect. So let's throw it on some vocals as well. I have the lead vocal here, and let's just hear this in the mix. Just the drums and vocals are dry.
Too many colors collide in my head, blacking out to a rhythmic ride.
cool spot for a crazy reverb effect, and I'll show you that, is that on suddenly, you know, the double there. But let's hit this lead. So I'm going to turn on the resonant reverb on the lead here. And what I'm going to do here is really focus in on where I want the vocal to stand out more, right? And where I want it to tuck back in the mix. I feel like it's too up front right now, right? So it does need some reverb. So a pre-delay can help with that. I like a pre-delay right around like 25 to 30 milliseconds on a vocal. I think that's a good spot to set that. Decay is always good around like 2.5 to 4 seconds on a vocal. And then we can widen this out and do some cool effects for spatial. But the big stuff is going to be our pre-reverb filter and post-reverb filter. So I'm going to turn both those off. We're just going to hear it with the reverb, and I'm going to blend in the amount of reverb I like on the vocal. And then I'm going to use the filters and mess around to give some texture and EQ.
Too many colors collide in my head, blacking out to a rhythmic rush. What's another night of losing a grip?
Automatically, that sounds really, really beautiful. And it sounds like a vibe that reverb does compared to like very basic reverbs that everybody's heard, like a Valhalla, right? This is giving like a cool vibe. It has like a bit of like an analog, like hardware unit reverb with like a spring in it, maybe. I don't know. There's something about it that just sounds really cool for vocals. Now I'm going to hit it with the pre-reverb filter, and we're going to find where we want to sit that vocal.
Too many colors collide in my head, blacking out to a rhythmic rush. What's another night of losing a grip? Darling, where shall we start? 'Cause suddenly,
So dope. So now we're getting this really cool vibe and effect. This song kind of has an 80s feel. So this is like trying to tweak it to be more 80s, right? And then the post filter, let's try this one out. And I'm just going to try to find a resonant frequency somewhere in the mid range here.
too many colors collide in my head, blacking out to a rhythmic rush. What's another night of losing a grip? Darling, where shall we start?
That is gorgeous. Now I'm going to use this width, and we're just going to find a good width for it.
Too many colors collide in my head, blacking out to a rhythmic rush. What's another night of losing a grip? Darling, where shall we start? 'Cause suddenly,
Great. We have a lead vocal that is still lead, and it's still up in your face, but then there's this depth, dimension, and this kind of interesting texturized reverb in the back. That to me is what I want out of a lead vocal. I don't want it to be drenched in reverb. I don't want it to be crazy, but I do want to take these background vocals and make them crazy. So let's do this on these background vocals. And these are just like little punch areas, right? The suddenly.
'cause suddenly.
All right, let's make this wild. Let's just go crazy with this shit. All right, so let's open up this and mess around. First of all, again, this is kind of a step-by-step process for me, is to like turn on and off the post and pre-reverb filters and set the reverb first and then turn those on. But there are some cool presets in this that I really love from Joe Chiccarelli, and I had it on this Evil Vocal Repeats. And this is just a total vibe, and it's all set by the pre-delay time. So I'm going to try to lock it into the tempo of this song.
'Cause suddenly.
Like, that's so cool. And I would even like follow this with another one, right? Let's just do 2 here. And let's do another preset where it's bigger, right? Here's a room effects.
'Cause suddenly.
All right, and on this one, I'm going to kill the filters, and I'm just gonna focus on a longer reverb decay and a little bit of a pre-delay, just a touch, right? Because we already have this kind of slap echo delay thing going on here, and I probably wanna bring this back, honestly, because just to fit the tempo of the song. And then the decay here can stay there, but this can be a longer decay, and we can do like widen it a little bit.
'Cause suddenly. 'Cause suddenly. 'Cause suddenly. 'Cause suddenly. 'Cause suddenly. 'Cause suddenly.
That's a vibe. So let's hear that in the mix here.
'Cause suddenly, it's her back in my hands. Suddenly, I'm not so away. Darling, you're stolen the night away. Telling me I'm alright when I feel nothing either way. Darling, you're stolen the night away. I feel nothing either way. Blow away, darling, you're storing the night away. Telling me I'm alright when I feel nothing either way.
Woo! It's so fun, right? Like we're kind of shaping, EQing, pre-delaying, giving a slap effect to those doubles, and then just find those frequencies that you really like that are going to resonate with that vocal. Last thing I want to show you with this, which I think is really, really fun, is adding reverb to your bass, which a lot of people say, don't do it, dude. Don't add reverb to your bass, you noob. Nobody does that. That's so stupid. But if you do it right, it's actually pretty cool. And with this reverb, you can actually do it pretty right. I mean, there's no right or wrong in mixing, right? So we're just having fun. But this is a really cool way to do it. So I have this already set up on the bass. Let me just play this. I'm going to bypass it in and out. Are you getting it now? Like, hopefully that just like gave you the aha moment, right? It's these resonant filters and these frequencies that you can like EQ the instrument and still have like room and verb and space and vibe and texture and sauce, because that's what we're talking about. We're saucing up the record. Now, if you guys have any questions about any of this, please drop them in the comments, but I'm going to leave a link to Resonant Reverb right here in the description. Just demo it, check it out. If you guys like it, mess around with it, let me know. And if you got anything from this video, maybe you got some new cooking techniques, the cocoa aminos. Maybe you got hungry, maybe you got a good laugh out of it, or maybe you got inspired and you were like, yo, that's a dope way to think about reverb. I never thought about that. Then drop a comment, drop some love. Let's play the mix here. Let's just before and after everything that we've done with just these reverbs. And this isn't much. This is like reverb on bass, kick, snare, vocals. That's it. That's all we got. So I'm just going to bypass them in and out, and let's hear the difference.
Blow away, darling, you're storing the night away. Telling me I'm alright when I feel nothing either way. Blow away, darling, you're storing the night away. Telling me I'm alright when I feel nothing either way.
That is how you do this frequency blooming technique. Now, whether you like it or not in this mix, doesn't matter, right? All I'm trying to show you is the actual technique of blooming out and resonating your reverb, giving it some EQ, giving it some vibe, giving it some sauce, instead of just throwing on those same old boring reverbs that you're using. So if you got anything out of the video, hit that thumbs up, all right? And I'll see you guys.